Welcome.
Welcome to the Gaming with Scissors podcast.
I love it!
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Gaming with Scissors podcast. I'm your host, Nitro Weasel 3K, and Piper refers to me as Peepaw because I like naps.
And you go to bed too damn early.
1 a.m. is early for the next day, not early for the night that we're going to sleep, especially when I have to get up to work. Hater.
That's your fault for being in a different time zone.
Yeah, I need to just move out of my garbage state.
I'll tell you that every single day.
I know. I can't. It's just it's adult things. Yeah, so I am joined as always by Piper. How are you, sir? Other than making fun of me being Peepaw?
I'm good, people. I'm just hanging out.
All right. And we are rejoined by Zero Ping, aka Nick, who was unable to join us last time. So he is back again. So hooray. Hi, Nick.
Hello. I'm back.
Also been unable to join us the past 3 nights that we've tried to record as well.
Well, no power and old man sleep and
Boo. Boo.
Those sound like excuses.
Oh, they
Boo. How are you other than having no power?
Well, rested, I guess.
Or us or me, I guess. Sean can live on like no sleep.
Yeah,
I'm the only one that I have to sleep. Like I can go for a few days and then I'm like, if I don't go to sleep, I'm gonna cut somebody. So that's just how I function.
Dude, I have like super crashes. Like I can go on like no sleep for like 4 days, 5 days sometimes, and then it's like boom, I gotta go to sleep at like 6 o'clock.
Yeah, and then I really feel like an old man. Like if I come home and take a nap, I'm like, I gotta take my nap.
Oh god, I wish I could take naps when I come home. That sounds just like amazing.
It's fine. I mean, I try to only sleep for like an hour. Hey guys, this is a gaming podcast. Talking about old man sleep. You're all welcome. We're 3 minutes in. It's all about man sleep.
This is about naps.
It is about naps. So, yeah, we have some exciting news from the site. If you guys have not been to the website lately, you should probably visit nerdlifetx.com because we now have available for your browsing, shopping, and viewing pleasure T-shirts with our dumb faces on them. So that's a lot of fun. You can buy T-shirts with our faces on them. I ordered one. It is going to be here soon, someday, I think.
I think it said it was going to be there like on like Friday.
Yeah, so I'm hoping I can wear my own face on Friday. Is that weird, by the way? Is it weird for me to wear a T-shirt with my own face on it?
Okay, so I think it's acceptable because it's an illustration of your face, and it's not actually like just a photograph of your own face that you got made at the mall.
Yeah, like at the booth where they airbrush T-shirts and hats.
I was thinking more of the one they just like stick your T-shirt in like a bubble jet printer and they print a picture of like your grandpa on it or something like that. They give it to your dad for like Father's Day. Like, I got this shirt made at the mall for you, Dad. Sometimes.
That's awesome. Yeah,
they're quality shirts. So I haven't ordered one of the ones for the podcast yet. I need to get it, but we had somebody else buy one and he said that it was awesome. So I'm going to go with that the shirts are awesome. And you guys should support the podcast and go buy a shirt because that'd be great.
Yes, do so. There is also a T-shirt for Get Big Son, which is a quote from Piper's daughter, Riley. She is internet famous, at least for us. As internet famous as we are ever going to get. It is due to Sean's daughter.
I think she's more so.
The only video that we have like over like 500 views on, she has like 25,000 views on this video, and it's just her playing Overwatch.
Just naming characters. She doesn't care. She's just like, yeah, that's Batman. Okay. But yeah, we should link to that in the description here. So if you haven't seen that, you should definitely check it out, or go to the site and check it out because it's a lot of fun. It's really funny. She's 2, right? She was 2 when you recorded it.
No, she's 3.
Was she 3? No, she was just 3 though, right?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what your kid is sometimes. She has to speak to me on the phone and then immediately asks for my wife.
Yeah.
Because like everybody else in my life, she just likes my wife better than me. She's like, can I talk to Matt? And then you put me on. She's like, hey, where's Danielle? And I'm like, all right.
She's just curious where she's at. She doesn't actually want to talk to her. She just needs to verify that she is present.
Right. Yeah. Is she there? Can she hear me?
She's worried for her life.
Right. Yeah. She's like, wait, she lives with you, so I have to be concerned about where she's at all times.
Make sure she's not locked up in the basement.
Right. Yeah, if anybody's locked up in the basement, it's me. Because that's what podcasting is, kids. It's shouting at a microphone in your basement.
When you're by yourself.
By yourself, yeah. Because if any other people are there, it's extra awkward because then you have to pretend like you're having a conversation with nobody because that's what it looks like you're doing when really you're talking to people online. And I edit these, so I know that there are at least 2 other people in here. At least.
Like in your basement?
In the room that we're in. I mean, I don't know. There are probably 2 other people in my basement. I don't know. I don't check it.
They're just creeping around.
I just treat it like a horror movie. I just treat it like that scene in Home Alone where Kevin's trying to do laundry, and the air conditioner comes on, and he's like and he just runs back upstairs. That's how I go to my basement every day. I was like, open my office door, and I'm like nope, and just run up the steps.
You don't know what's down there. What creeps?
I don't know what's down there. I assume it's ooky spooky skeletons though. I always assume it's skeletons. There's just skeletons down here somewhere.
They came to party with you, man.
Yeah, party skeletons.
Yeah,
they've got really sweet Bermuda shirts on that they got over at Hot Topic. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we talked about the t-shirts. I guess let's move on to Sean. What did you do this week in gaming?
Man, it was kind of slow. Actually, I've played 3 games. I played 3 games this week. And so that would be the one thing that's taken most of our time. We've gotten buried under player Unknown BattleGrounds.
Oh my god!
If you guys haven't played that, it's a good spend, a good waste of $30. I really enjoy it so far, and I'm not into like what genre would you call that game?
Yeah, I'm calling them like survival shooters because it's. I don't. Do you want to explain what it is? Because Nick, you've not played it, right?
No, I haven't actually.
Yeah, so you can explain to Nick and thus our audience how it works.
Okay, so basically the game is you jump out of an airplane with 100 people, and then you kill everyone. That's the whole goal. It's literally it's 95 or 100 people to a map, and you can play singles, you can play doubles, or you can play a squad of 5, which I found out it's 5 people in a squad.
Yikes.
Yeah, so you have your groups that you play with, or by yourself because you're lonely, and you start off in an airplane. And it flies over this big old island, and everybody jumps out whenever they want to. Like, you can jump out at any point on this island. Okay, so you land, you kind of parachute down, and you have to scramble to find weapons and armor and like resources like first aid kits and energy drinks and drugs, stuff like that. Things you look for in people's houses.
Right. Yeah. Basically, if you're a video gamer, exactly what you think you're going to be looking for if you're playing a game about murdering people.
Yeah. So you go and you put your bicycle helmet on, and you get a flak jacket and a matrix coat and a machine gun and
some skinny jeans.
Okay, you find some skinny jeans all over the place and some army boots. And you just don't die. The point of the game is it's like Hunger Games pretty much, or Battle Royale. If anybody's ever seen that movie, it's an awesome movie, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the cool thing is, like, as you're playing, the playable map kind of shrinks. There's like a magical laser wall that tries to kill you, and you have to keep moving further in and closer, and it forces everybody to kind of interact with each other. You can't just like hide in a building the whole time unless you're like in the middle of the map. So you just hang out and you try to murder everyone and steal their stuff, and it's really fun. And I'm surprised, 'cause I'm not really into games like that. Like, I've tried like H1Z1, and we played the culling for a little while. That's probably the closest thing. If you played the culling, then this is pretty much that with no crafting.
Yeah, that was one thing I didn't like about the culling. Those, like, you could get better drops and kits and learn things and pay to upgrade. In Unknown Player Unknown, you can't pay to win. All you can do is unlock cosmetics. So you can drop with some sweet shades on, but you ain't dropping with a machine gun. So you just drop with like whatever cosmetic things your character has, and they do you no good. So you drop in those like jeans, boots, and a shirt, And then it's just like, oh, well, you got to go find a gun or whatever. And you're like going in all these like bombed out buildings and houses. And so one building you go in might be chock full of stuff. You might find like an AK, a bunch of rounds of ammunition, and a flak jacket. Meanwhile, that's Sean in one building, and then across the street, I'm in a building, and I might just find like an energy drink.
And a frying pan.
Yeah, a frying pan and a banana clip for a gun I don't have. Like, it's just random. You never know what you're going to find when you go in the buildings. So it kind of makes it interesting because everybody drops at once. So if you happen to drop and you see somebody else dropping near you, you either have to punch them to death or everybody runs away from each other knowing that other person is nearby. And they're like, oh my God, like I got to arm up and go murder that guy before he finds me. It's super fun when you have duos. Single is much more difficult. I find duos more fun.
So is it like DayZ a little bit?
Like King of the Hill.
Okay. Last Man Standing?
That's what it's called? I don't know what it's called. I know there's...
Yeah, H1Z1, I think it's called King of the Kill. But yeah. That's essentially what it is. It's everybody starts with nothing. Alliances can be made and broken because there is talking in it. But I will tell you, and I'm thinking about maybe writing something about this, that game is just full of racists.
Oh gosh.
Just the internet. If you have your mic chat turned on in Player Unknown, you're gonna hear every racial slur under the sun. Every single one of them. Because when they put you in, like, you start on an island, right? When it loads you in, and that's just like a player lobby while it loads in all 100 people. Then once it loads in all 100 people, it just magically teleports everybody into an airplane. Well, when you're in the airplane, if you talk in the open mic, you can't see who's talking. There's no player names, and there's no way to know who's talking to just mute other players or whatever. So it's just open comms, and everybody's just saying the most hateful, racist shit I've ever heard in my life.
It's like, it's not a good idea to give keyboard warriors complete anonymity.
Right. Yeah. It's 4chan, the video game.
Oh, nice.
Well, as far as the interaction goes, but it's, I ignore that part. Most of the time I don't listen to people when they're talking to me, and I don't talk to them, but I like the game so far. It's really good. And it's something I haven't gotten bored of it yet, which is kind of surprising, because games like that, I'll play for a little while and be like, I'm tired of this. Like that's what happened with like H1Z1. I was just like, I don't like this, but I dig it, and it's easy to get into. And the cool thing is, like, when you're playing, you can actually upgrade all your weapons, like all your guns you get. It kind of forces you to continue looking for things. It's not like, oh, I drop down, I'm gonna get the best weapon I can right off the bat. You can oh, okay, I can find some more upgrades for it. I can find some, a better clip or a scope or whatever. So it's kind of cool.
Spawns are kind of random then.
Yes, it's completely random.
Okay, cool.
Yep. The map is always the same for now, but what spawns in each location is random. Now, there are certain places you're going to get better pickups. Like there's a gun range, but that's designed to be a hotbed where people are all going to go. So it's like, yeah, you go to the gun range, there's going to be a bunch of guns there, but if you go to the gun range, there's going to be 7 other people on the gun range. So then it becomes whoever gets that first handgun when you land, because even a handgun, if you're fighting 5 guys with fists, a handgun, you could take them all out without even batting an eyelash.
It's gonna save you, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. So so that's a good time.
I was been playing that, and I also got into the Warhammer 40K Dawn of War 3 multiplayer beta. That's a lot of words to say. I got a couple of games in that, and I really, really liked it. Like, I'm a huge Warhammer fan. Like, I love 40K. I mean, I have tons and tons of models. I love the lore, everything about it. It's just really cool. I like that whole like story. And so, like, anytime a Warhammer game comes out, I'm like, I gotta play this. So I was really excited when I got to play Dawn of War 3. And they kind of, if anybody's played Dawn of War 2, they didn't go that direction with it. They went more towards the first Dawn of War game, which is, it makes me happy as a RTS purist. Like, I didn't like Dawn of War 2 that much because it was all about, in the campaign, it's just play the game, here's your units, and you really don't have any control outside of that. Each mission is very specific. I mean, there was multiplayer where you can actually build up a base and units and all that good stuff. But with Dawn of War 3, it's back to what an RTS is. You build your base up, you collect resources, and you build your guys. But it's graphics, it's beautiful. The gameplay is really neat. I did a bunch of 3v3 games, so it was lots of teamwork going on. It was a lot of fun. The one thing that was really unique about the game is before you load in, you actually have loadouts that you can build for your army. So you get to choose what like race you want to be out of the Space Marines, Orcs, and Eldar, which is really neat. Which again, you have that another one, but the really cool thing is, like with Space, I pretty much only played Space Marines, but they have all of the different factions. I know I don't like to play, like in real life I don't like to play it, but in the game that's what I played, but whatever. And it was really neat because they had each of the different factions within the Space Marines. So if you wanted to be Dark Angels, if you wanted to be Blood Angels or whoever, they had all of them there for you. So that was kind of cool. And whichever army you picked, they actually had, it wasn't just like a color swap, they actually had the like insignias for everyone and all the banners were correct. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's sweet. That was my biggest complaint with 2, is I always felt like even if I was like, because I do kind of like the Blood Angels, even if you were the Blood Angels, like nothing really changed. It's just like, oh, you're just red now.
Yeah, pretty much. And I didn't notice like a whole lot of difference between. There may not be any difference from one to the other, but it was cool that you actually had the different color schemes already set up, and you had your banners and stuff. The other really cool thing is you can select what elite characters you want to take in to a battle with you, and you get to choose 3. So I always played with. So I will just call them Man with Big Hammer, Assassin, and Titan. I don't remember what their names are. I'd have to look them up. But that's really, really neat. And you have to unlock those characters as you play. So you play the game long enough, you do enough damage, you collect enough resources, and it unlocks like your first character. And you can drop them anywhere on the map. So you can be in the middle of a battle, and you'll be like, oh, I need Big Hammer Man. Come down. And he'll like fly down in a drop pod, and he'll jump out, and he'll start fighting. And you can control him and all that good stuff. So that was really, really cool. It's a lot of customizability, whereas, in the other games, you really didn't have that. It was just like, oh, build your army up and then go buy all the Predators. That was pretty much it. But in this, it looks like it's going to be a really good game. So I might have to force myself to pre-order it. I don't, just because there's some skins that you can get. I don't usually ever pre-order anything, but that's just playing the beta. I was like, man, I got to get this game. It's good.
Yeah, that's cool. I own the first one. I actually found a copy of my Game of the Year edition in the garage. I sent a picture to Sean. He was like, "What is it? Is that in a trash can?" I'm like, "No, it's in my garage." But I have like the big box edition of it. And I remember playing that a lot. Like I used to play a lot of like StarCraft and Warcraft. And then when Warcraft 3 came out, I kind of tapered off, which is weird because I really like
the
MOBAs.
Best one.
Well, not only that, but I really like MOBAs, and that's literally what built MOBAs.
Yeah.
The original Dota was just a mod for Warcraft 3. Yeah. So you'd think I would have liked it, but I just didn't get into it. And then I think I was like really sick. And I was going to Walmart to pick up a prescription, and I saw that, and I was just like, I don't feel good. I ain't going to work, nothing. So I bought it and played it a ton while I was sick, and then I don't think I ever touched it again. So I have this like box set that I've like almost never played.
You need to install it and play it.
Well, I'm interested in playing 3 because it looks pretty. Like it's a pretty looking game. So I'm super interested to play it. If nothing else, just to see how you and I will fare in it, because I think it'll make some good content to see my idiocy within the 40K universe.
I just want to scream at you a lot. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, trust me. I tried to play that Eternal Crusade, and I got screamed at all the time. Uh-huh. I was asking me like how I heal people, and they were like saying weird in jokes about the Imperial team and stuff. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but okay. How I stab you with this needle in the face and make you?
Well, that's a bad game. So it's
a hard game.
It's super broken and unbalanced. It's one of the most unbalanced games I've ever played.
Yeah, if you've been playing for a while, you just win every time.
Yeah, for real. There's no like matchmaking really in it. It's just like, oh, and now you're playing. Hope you like playing with everyone who's max level.
Good luck, bitches.
Yeah.
So all right. Well, did you play anything else?
Yeah, kind of. I fired up a game called Shadowverse, mm-hmm. which is essentially just a Hearthstone ripoff, like a direct knockoff of Hearthstone. And I don't get this. Like, there are so many ideas out there that developers can tap into, and I get that you can be inspired by a game, but I cannot stand games that are just like one for one clones with just like way worse artwork. Like the game, it's just not as fun. It's not as deep, and it's just I don't know. I played it for like 10 minutes. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play Hearthstone because
nobody's gonna be able to touch Blizzard's lore to begin with because they have such a deep pool to pull from. But not only that, they make a quality product. I am not a big Blizzard guy. I wouldn't call myself like a Blizzard fan, but the Blizzard games that I do like, I really, really like. And even the ones I don't like, I respect for the quality of product they are.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's the same thing. We were talking about like Mini Masters last time. And dude, that
game. In a fire.
It's not that bad of a game. But
in a fire. It's the worst.
It is a knockoff of Clash Royale. It's a mobile game. Right? Like, Clash of Clans people made it or whatever. It's the same game. And the sad thing is the phone game is better than that. So it's like you do a bad job if your game is not better than a game that I can play on the toilet. Honestly, you need to get some better artists or developers or just someone with a brain that can make me a better game than a toilet game.
I'm gonna go play my toilet game. I don't need this. This is a toilet game. I'm gonna play my toilet game. I don't care.
That's what it comes down to. So that frustrates me. But if you want to play a game that's pretty much Hearthstone, but Hearthstone's free, and so is this one. But you want to pick the worst free game, go play Shadowverse. It's worth a try.
That's a glowing recommendation from the Piper. So that's good.
That's my review.
You're welcome. There's some content for you.
Buy a 4-pack.
Yeah. Buy 4. Share it with your friends. Give it to your friends and neighbors. That's what I did with I bought an extra copy of King of the Kill and gave it somebody gifted me the Saints Row 4 like complete box set. And I was like, hey, you know how you shouldn't be nice to strangers? And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, no, you shouldn't be nice to strangers. And I just gifted them that. And they were just like, oh, fuck you. Like, they were so mad. I was like, yeah, that's what you get for being, I'll learn you to be nice to people. And I did, and he won't ever again. So I did my bad deed for the week. So that's good. All right, really quick, we're going to take a commercial break to let our sponsors come in here and hopefully persuade you people to buy things. And then when we come back, we'll go over what Nick and I did this week, and we'll move on. We got a couple stories for you, so hang on.
And now, insurance-minded speeches from Geico.
Hardship. My grandmother would go through it every month to pay her insurance bill. First, she would handwrite a paper check, in cursive. Then, using her own tongue, she would wet a stamp for an envelope. Today, however, we need not weary our hands and tongues. Today, we can pay our Geico bill with the Geico app. Away with hardship, in with bill pay on the Geico app. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for sticking around through that. We really appreciate it. Again, our sponsors, they will help us in the long run because it means that we will be able to make better content and more content. So we appreciate it when you guys sit through those and stick around after the break because it does in the long run help us out. Okay, so Nick, did you want to go over what you played this week?
I actually ended up playing a game called Halcyon 6, Starbase Commander. It's a pixel art game. Strategy-based. The combat's kind of turn-based, almost like an old RPG. And I haven't got too far into it, but from what I played so far, it's actually pretty fun.
That sounds like a Forever Alone game.
Yeah, it's a Forever Alone game.
But it's a good Forever Alone game.
Yeah.
I backed that on Kickstarter, so I've had it for a little while. It's a good game.
Nice.
I like it.
Yeah, I think I had the indie box of it. Did you get my indie box of that?
I'm playing your indie box, yes.
Yeah, because I got it and I like looked at it and I'm like, this is not for me. I'm really weird about what I want to play and what I don't. I'm more into like horror games and adventure games. I'd say adventure games are more my thing than anything else. I like exploring. I just want to go exploring.
Well, if you want to go exploring, why don't you try NES of the Wild?
I want to play good games. not produced by a company who doesn't get me.
That's not produced by a company. That's a fan-made thing.
Oh, see, so it's produced by a fan who doesn't like me. Good.
That's true. If you listen to the podcast.
Yeah. Hateful people. They're all hateful people. So you played NES of the Wild then? I assume?
I did, yeah. It's actually a fan remake. Uses Zelda 1 graphics, and they're kind of remaking, in a way, Breath of the Wild. It's pretty clever, actually. If you play it, you can see the grass move when you walk. There's a lot of little subtleties like that in the actual game, but it's literally just straight Zelda NES graphics, and they just kind of mix it all together. It's pretty fun. They
didn't get immediately shut down by Nintendo because I know that fan project that those guys were working on to bring was it
the Metroid game?
No, Red Dead to GTA 5, right? They got shut down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because Rockstar was like, nope, we're doing that. I can't believe Nintendo didn't immediately shut this down, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's been a couple days and it's still up. I don't think they're going to be up for very long, so grab a copy if you want it. It's just a demo at this point. That's not a full game.
Is there a plan to do the whole game? Like, are they trying to make this whole open world game? Or was it just supposed to be like a proof of concept kind of thing? Like, hey, like, here's this. It's kind of neat.
No, they're trying to do the full thing. They allow you to do PayPal donations when you download the demo. So, good luck, guys.
Hey, Nintendo, if you're listening, I just want you to know, Nick did this. Nick did this to you. And developers, if you're listening, Nick did this to you. See that? See how I just turned everybody against you? That's what you get for backing Nintendo. All of it.
I'm not backing Nintendo, though.
It sounds like you are.
Yeah.
How many Switches did you buy? You bought like 13 of them, just so you can give them all your money.
I bought one Switch. Although all right, so I did back Nintendo a little bit this week also. I did have to buy I did an eBay purchase this week. I bought a Game Boy Light, or Game Boy Pocket rather. It's backlit with the Bivert mod already done to it.
No, but that's okay. That's like retro stuff, so they're not getting that money. They've already got their money for it.
But it's beyond retro because, again, this is like everything Nintendo does. The fans make it better. Yeah, somebody else make it better. Hey, you guys didn't put a backlight or anything to help with the contrast on this. You gonna fix that? They're like, nah. So some fans like, hey, if I just jack the screen out, shift this plate, and then put an LED back here, this thing looks gorgeous. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Like, that's all it took. And Nintendo's just like, nah.
Too much work.
Yeah. We don't like you guys out. You'll figure it out.
Friend codes.
Yeah. Friend codes. Make sure, get this 72-digit code. And you'll be able to play your friend's, Mario Maker level. That's just a bunch of bombs just shooting you in the face in the shape of a dick. That's all it is.
Hope you like it.
Hope you like dicks and bombs. And you don't like playing Mario. This will be a combination of all your favorite things, if those are your favorite things.
You're editing that out.
No, I'm leaving it in.
God.
I do have a Nintendo Switch, and I am forever alone. So here's my friend code. No.
Boo.
Boo's right. Shame. I don't have a bell. I'd ring a bell at you right now.
Shame. All right, cool. So as for myself, I obviously played PlayerUnknown BattleGrounds with the Piper, and as well as alone, and it's intense. I was playing it when Nick was in the podcast channel a little bit early, and I was playing it, and I think he was super worried about me because I just kept talking about how I was nervous. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Like, I was getting all paranoid.
Dude, it makes your heart race.
Yeah, I can hear my heartbeat in my headphones. Like when I'm playing it, because you have to play with headphones. That's pro tip. Play with headphones, because if somebody else is in the house you're in, you can hear their boot steps if you have your headphones on. If you're using speakers, it's harder to hear. So yeah, headphones. But yeah, so like every time Nick like moved something, or if like he was like typing and I heard like clicking or something in my headset, I'm like, what is it? What's happening? What is that? Where is it? Like, you just getting all paranoid. And then I got blown away by like 17 guys because I am bad at that game. I love it, but I'm bad at it. Story of my life. So I played that. What led me to play that was I actually played that H1Z1 King of the Kill for a little bit. I played it for like an hour, and I hated it. I was like, this is the worst game ever. This would be better if I had a team of people. And then I was like going around in my head like, should I like buy it for somebody? Like, buy it for Sean or somebody and say, hey, let's like play this together. Even though there's not like a team mode, I guess. And then I started looking into PlayerUnknown, and I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I wanted. So I ended up buying that instead. I also played a little bit of Dragon Age Inquisition. I was getting back into that because I love those games. 2, not so much. Origins and this one, I like. Origins is still my favorite.
You know, I could never play it because the characters feel like really, really heavy, and just it's so boring. It was a boring game.
I have to skip a lot of the lore. It's one of those games that's super lore heavy. Skyrim is kind of like that a little bit. If you like go and try to find all the manuscripts and read them, it's similar to that. But I don't care about any of that, and I play my I RP all my characters in those games. I don't know if I've talked about that before with you guys, but I RP all my characters. So when I start my character, I'm like, this character is going to be an asshole, and this is like their end goal. And I decide it all before I start, and then I RP that character. So if an item comes up that I think that the character that in my head, that's what my character would say, that's what I say.
You're such a nerd.
I know. Well, I used to just answer the questions how I would answer them. And the problem with that is nobody's all good or all bad. So when you answer questions like that, it screws up any systems that are dark light systems. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It screws those up because they don't know what to do with you, because you're not being completely negative, but you're not being completely positive. So you end up in this weird floating position in the middle. So that's why I started RPing my characters, because I got tired of not getting the strongest good guy powers or not getting the strongest bad guy powers, or, whatever, because I was floating in the center of the entire game. Yeah. So, but yeah, I got back into that. I'm playing an elf mage, which is awesome because that's a combination of the 2 most hated races in that game. Everybody hates mages and everybody hates elves.
So you're gonna just be the worst.
Yeah, if you would ever feel like the worst human being ever, just play that character in any of the Dragon Age games, and it'll just be everybody going, garbage person, you're a garbage elf, nobody likes you. And then they're like, wait, you're a mage? Ugh, mage, you're outside the circle. Go back to your mage hut in the woods. We don't let you out here in public. Like, that's all it is. So yeah, if you want to feel good about yourself, go ahead and play that, because it totally doesn't feel like casual racism on the game's part. So yeah, play that. That's fun. And Sean and I were talking, and Nick and I actually were talking in an unrelated conversation about the Raspberry Pi, because I bought a Pi Girl kit a long time ago and never put it together, because when I got it, I bought the whole kit from Adafruit, and it didn't come with a case. I was going to 3D print the case. It was a whole thing. So I bought a couple Game Boy cases that I thought, hey, I might kind of like mod it to fit in here. And then I started looking at the buttons that came with it, and they weren't quite right. And then it didn't have a speaker. Like, the kit wasn't what I wanted it to be after I got it. So I kind of put it off to the side, and I didn't really do anything with it. Well, Sean and I were talking about there's a lot of modders online who are taking those now, and they've built custom components that you can put them into like a full-size Game Boy case, and it adds sound, and it adds, all the buttons on the outside work, and there's a game pack you can slide in it that looks like an old Game Boy cart and all this stuff. And I think that I'm going to tackle that as a project, just because I would like to have something. I'm more likely to play retro games when I'm on the go than when I'm at my house and I have the option to play, Dragon Age. If my choices are the original Final Fantasy or Dragon Age, I'm going to pick Dragon Age. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry, because I get why people like retro games. I understand, but I am not one of those people. I am not always going to pick a retro game just because it's a retro game. I'm going to pick the game that I want to play. And in most cases, that's newer games, because we progress with what we could do with stories. And that's what I like about most games, is the story. So, for me, it makes more sense for me to have an on-the-go retro system. So I'm actually recommitting to that. I'm going to hopefully next week going to be buying a lot of the components that I need, just a few button mods and those kinds of things, nice, to make it actually fit inside of the Game Boy, like a full-size Game Boy case. Because I have a replica one. It's not an original one, but it's some reprinted one from Japan that I ordered on eBay. So yeah, so I'm going to try and get that going.
Is it reprinted from a mold or like 3D printed?
I think it's from a mold, because it doesn't look 3D printed. But it's remember when your original Game Boy got old, it like kind of yellowed a little bit. It was like that gray, but it kind of turned a little bit yellow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's that grayish yellow.
Okay.
And it's got the screen.
It already looks old.
Yeah, it's got the plastic thing that goes over the screen because, there's two pieces to the screen. Well, there's three. But the actual screen, there's a scratch screen that sits over top of it. Mm-hmm. And it came with that, but it has Pokemon all over it. I don't know why, but that was the only way I could buy it. So it just has Pokemon all over, and I don't even like Pokemon that much. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. This will just be neat, I guess. So I have that.
Are you sure it's not like Pikachu yellow?
No, it's not like clown ass yellow. Okay. It is like this is when a smoker's house yellow.
Okay,
that's what it looks like.
You just got the dirtiest one that they had.
Yeah, it was just too close to the smokestacks that they all eat their lunch around in whatever weird factory it was made in. Anyway, all right. Well, we're going to take another really quick break, and then we are going to pop into a topic or two, and that'll pretty much wrap us up for this episode. So hang around and check out the topics after these breaks, after these commercials, whatever. This break. This break.
It's Mom Zone. Breaking news, the Fremont family declares where they're going for back to school.
The Fremonts are going with Academy.
Mrs. Fremont, why Academy over another store?
When my kids say they'll never use math in the real world, I just show them how low my Academy receipt is.
You have any other thoughts?
Look, back to school is a numbers game, and numbers don't lie.
Nobody starts your season with better brands and lower prices than Academy. Academy Sports and Outdoors. For all, for less. Price match guarantee details at academy.com.
It's Mom Zone. Breaking news, the Fremont family declares where they're going for back to school.
The Fremonts are going with Academy.
Mrs. Fremont, why Academy over another store?
When my kids say they'll never use math in the real world, I just show them how low my Academy receipt is.
You have any other thoughts?
Look, back to school is a numbers game, and numbers don't lie.
Nobody starts your season with better brands and lower prices than Academy. Academy Sports and Outdoors. For all, for less. Price match guarantee details at academy.com.
All right, welcome back. Thank you again for sticking around through that. So when we started talking about topics for this week, I was kind of at a loss because there is a lot going on in gaming, but nothing that you're like, oh my God, I have to talk about that. Until Nick and I kind of started kicking an idea around, and he filled out the topic sheet. So I'm going to let you take this one away, Nick, and then Sean and I will kind of join in. And if we have time for a second topic, I do have a second topic I want to go over. If that one gets cut or we have to wait for it, you guys will just have to wait till next episode to find out what that was. So, but for now, go ahead and take it away, Nick.
All right. Well, first of all, you guys familiar with G2A?
Yes.
I was not.
Okay.
Do you want to do a quick synopsis?
Sure. So the G2A service is actually a paid service, like kind of like a Steam or something, where you're actually buying keys, but you actually buy like Steam keys, or I think they sell like GOG keys also. I know they sell Windows keys, a few other things. But their business model kind of is that they purchase keys in countries where the value of those keys are really low, and then they'll sell it in other countries, or they'll buy large packs of keys at one point, at one time at a discount, and then resell them at just below the retail price. So that's kind of the whole deal behind G2A.
But the shady part is a lot of times those keys are stolen.
That is the problem. So
how does one? Is it just somebody's generating these numbers and they just figure out the algorithm that the keys are created by, or how does that work?
Okay, so let's say that you're like hanging out at home and your dad goes to work. Well, you're going to sneak in there. You're going to steal your dad's credit card. You're going to buy a ton of keys for like whatever game. Then you can go onto the little marketplace and you can sell them and make some money.
Right.
I see. So really, they're stolen in the stupidest way possible, in that your dad probably paid $200 and you're going to make $100 back.
Well, yeah, because you didn't have that $200 that your dad had. Now you have $100. And most of the time, though, it's not like I'm stealing my dad's credit card. It's I am running a phishing scheme and I'm stealing people's credit card numbers online, and then I'm going to go buy them and make money.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's definitely shady. I mean, there are people there that are legitimately like, oh, I have this extra key that I got and I want to sell it. So you can go on their marketplace and you can sell it. Or you can buy directly from G2A, who obtains them in one way or another. But see, there's some legit stuff on there, but a lot of it is just kind of like, okay, I'm buying a game that just came out yesterday for $15.
Yeah, and they actually had a deal for the BulletStorm remaster. They had a deal with Gearbox, and that they were going to have all these perks that were G2A specific. And I think it was like a day after it launched, Gearbox kind of had this list of demands for G2A, which include stop selling fraudulent, their fraud protection. So they sell their like fraud shield or something like that, I believe it's called. And what that is, it's an extra like $1 or $2, and that protects you if you do have a stolen key, or the key gets revoked or something like that, or it doesn't activate after they sell it to you.
So, AKA, we know we're doing shady shit. This is like our legal. We have an out.
Well, it's not even a legal out, really. It's just them making a little money on the back of that.
That's dumb. So hold on. I was under the impression that Gearbox didn't know that they were shady fuckers until after Gearbox's fans. Well, I use the term fans loosely because I don't think that anybody can really say that they're a Gearbox fan. I thought it was after people got all riled up and got sassy with them on the interwebs. They were like, oh, we should probably look into this company. And then they looked into it and they were like, oh, God, this is a nightmare. This is a PR nightmare.
No, there's no way that you cannot know. If you're a game developer, you have to know about gray markets.
Well, that was the thing, though, is that they were claiming that they didn't. And I think that's why people threw them under the bus again. It seems like they're infinitely under the bus.
And the only reason that those demands came about from Gearbox is because I was watching some stuff on YouTube. Total Biscuit, he contacted Gearbox at the discretion of like a bunch of fans. He was one of the people, but there's a couple of YouTubers that contacted him, and they're just basically like, "What the hell are y'all doing? Why are you doing this? You are stupid." And that's kind of when Gearbox was like, no, we'll make it right. And then that's when they came back with those demands.
Right. Randy Pitchford from Gearbox actually even went out publicly and said that he didn't know about G2A's fraudulent practices and things of that nature. So, I have trouble believing that guy, though. Aliens, anyone?
I was going to say aliens, colonial marines. We have to have that conversation about how garbage that was.
Shadiness.
Yeah. It is the No Man's Sky to a way worse degree.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't trust it. I know. I have a feeling that they knew exactly what they were doing, and they were hoping that either nobody would say anything, or not enough people or enough important people would say something to make them actually do anything about it.
You know what's messed up about that? If they were a little bit bigger or a little bit lesser known, nobody would have given a shit. But because they have so publicly destroyed their own reputation through things like Colonial Marines, that's why YouTubers who are actually able to create content that gets millions of views, the Jim Sterlings, the Total Biscuits, that's why they're paying attention to you, because you screwed up so bad that now you're always in the crosshair forever. They're never going to not be able to be in the crosshair. And I think if it was just two dudes making it and they had done that, nobody would have said dick. If it was Ubisoft, nobody would have said dick. Everybody would have just been like, that's Ubisoft, of course. But I think they're in a weird gray area, because they're I would say they're still AAA, but I think that they're probably the low end of AAA.
Yeah.
And I think they are more under the microscope just because they have made some bad business decisions up to this point.
I would agree with that.
I really think that if it would have been any AAA company that would have done this, that had a very, I guess, a well-known game or game series, I think they would have gotten called out. I think if Ubisoft would have done it, I honestly think that it would have been even worse, because that would have been like a nail in the coffin for Ubisoft, since they have been just like wrecking everything that they can get their hands on. So
but they don't care. They don't bat an eyelash about it. The only time that they finally listened was when enough fans said, we are literally going to stop doing what makes you money. We have all come together and decided we are not going to play your game until you fix it. And then they were like, oh God, like this is a logistic nightmare because we need to make this money. We are already banking on this money. That was the only way they actually listened. Before fans were talking about a boycott, they were never going to change those amounts on the steel on For Honor.
But that's what I'm saying with companies like that, companies that think that they're too big to be affected by that. That would have killed them. But I think that, like you're saying, that with Gearbox being on more of the lower end of AAA, that they still have some contact with their fan base and they can still slightly relate to them. At the same time, they could immediately see the backlash and they were afraid. So they made the smart move and at least went to G2A and like, look, we need you to like stop being like just like scumbags, which I don't know. I don't know if it matters or not.
Wasn't the answer pretty much no?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So the only way, this is just like the gambling scam with the CS:GO skins.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah, there was shady people involved. There was theft involved. There was, it's preying on a select group. They know who they're preying on. They know exactly who these keys are coming from, and they know exactly who they're selling them to, right? So it's the same thing, in my opinion. And claiming you didn't know was just like those two YouTubers who were like, oh, dude, I just found this site. It's so sweet. Look at all the stuff I want. And they owned it. They owned the gambling site.
I just found it. It was amazing.
I just found it because I freaking developed it. That's why I
registered the domain.
Yeah. So it's amazing. It's so easy to find it when I get an email that says you own this now.
It wasn't that they just found it. It's just they just founded it. So
found is a typo.
Sorry, we just misspoke. What happened was I had misspoke. So, but I kind of feel the same way about this.
Well, G2A did get a little bit of pressure though, not just from them.
At what point is it on the sketchy people who are buying from them? Like, do you see what I'm saying? It's going to be really hard to make that. Hey, just like Sean said, a game comes out today, you can buy on there for $15 tomorrow. It's going to be you're going to be really hard pressed to tell a teenager, don't do that.
Yeah.
Right. Which I was exaggerating a little bit, but it is deep discounts. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like at what point, yes, the company is definitely to blame, but enough legitimate people need to stand up and say, we're not going to deal with you because you're sketchy bitches.
Well, that's what at a Croatian developer conference after that, they kind of got a little bit lambasted from the actual developers. They were on stage kind of more or less marketing their product, and the developers started kind of digging into them. They were talking about that protection shield that's supposed to protect customers and make sure they get a legitimate key. There's an additional charge for that, so they know that that's a problem, right? And not only that, G2A receives 90% of the actual charge, and they get 100% from the shield insurance. So, I mean, they're just cleaning house on that. Oh, and Matt, you'll like this one. The G2A person that was representing the company at the time said that people should be more forgiving of the company because 40% of their 750-person staff is made up of women.
Wow.
Let's play that card.
Oh, my Christ. No, we're not Look, I know a lady. That makes me not a scumbag.
Yeah.
See, because there's a lady that works here?
We employ women, and since...
Yeah. I mean, come on. What are you all sexist? You trying to shut us down because we employ women? No, dude, we're trying to shut you down because you're an idiot. That's why. It has nothing to do with you employing women or not. You could be a building full of Martians, but if you were still a scumbag, you'd still be a scumbag. Like, it doesn't matter. Oh, God, that makes me so mad.
It's wonderful. It's just wonderful.
That's our community, ladies and gentlemen. When exactly. When people talk about gamers or games media, or they talk about toxic communities, that's the kind of shit they're talking about.
Yes, it is.
These are the people that guys like the Nerd Life staff, we don't put up with that crap on the Nerd Life staff. If somebody says or does something that we consider too harsh, they don't get their article published. You know what I mean? We all sit down together, we talk it through, and if they say something or do something that
is unwarranted,
is unwarranted or not representative of what we think the core of nerd life should be, we're not going to let them do it, or we're not going to let them say it, or we're not going to back them up. And because we do not want people to look at us and think we're like that.
No.
I'm not going to throw, hey, oh, dude, we have this. We know this girl that does art, and she totally hangs out with us. Who cares? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares. We had a girl write an article for our site once. That doesn't make us like anything special, because to us, she was just a writer. And using that as a card is even more offensive than pretending that you're not basically encouraging people to steal.
Oh yeah, it's completely ignorant of the topic, right? I don't know. It's
frustrating.
It is frustrating.
Right. You threw a grenade in your house to avoid anybody noticing you set the trash can on fire. Like, what the hell, man? Dummy. Jesus. So that's a lot of fun. Pretty excited about
do.
All right. Well, we are running short on time here. Like I said, we're trying to shorten up our episodes, tighten them up, because we did get a couple people say they wanted us to tighten them up. If that is not the case for you and you're listening to this right now, let us know. Send us a message on Facebook, or better yet, hop on over to iTunes, give us a 5-star review, and then tell us what you want to hear from us. The reviews on iTunes actually make a much bigger deal than you think they do. They help us out a lot. They help move us up in the rankings, and it means more people can find the show. We also kind of were talking about it. If you just tell 2 other people that you know to listen to the show, just pick 2 people you think might like the show, have them listen to it. That would help us out immensely, because that means we're going to have 2 new listeners after every episode. That would be really cool if you could do that for us. So if everybody just tells 2 people about the show, you will be our best friends forever, and I will totally give you a high five if you come to one of the conventions that we're at. I will give you a high five, a free one. I won't even make you like our site or whatever before I give you a high five, as my sign indicates that I wear around my chest when I go to these things.
High fives. Come on, Matt. We all know you're a hugger.
I am not a hugger, but I will hug. I will hug you. I will hug you if you leave me a review.
But not a bad review, though.
Yeah, if you leave us a 5-star, I will hug you. I don't care. I'll give you all the hugs. I'll give you a high five and a hug. It don't matter.
At the same time.
At the same time. Yeah, it'll be crazy. I will hold your one arm up awkwardly and just high five it repeatedly while just rubbing my chest against you.
Oh, God.
So
that's we're getting lots of 1-star reviews.
Nah, it's a 1-star. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
You
sure you want me to host the show?
Yeah, it's fine.
Everybody's reevaluating me hosting the show at this point. So, yeah. Speaking of Nerd Life TX, as we just were, if you haven't been to the site lately, feel free to go over there and check it out. We've posted a few articles since the last podcast. We got the Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi teaser posted, and that article was actually written by Corey, who is our guest host on the last episode. So if you liked Corey and you want to hear more of him, definitely go over there, read his first article. It would mean a lot to him. It would mean a lot to us if you could do that. Speaking of Corey, he was also a guest on the other podcast that I do called Nerds at Drive-Ins, which is also available through nerdlifetx.com. And we might actually have some exciting news coming up about that as well, with regards to it might be joining a larger podcast network, which would be really cool. So that would make 2 of our shows now on major podcasting networks, which is awesome. That means the world to us that enough people like us that's happening. So that's really cool. I actually did an article about crowdfunding a project called Powerbomb. It's really awesome. As you guys know, if you've listened to some of our other shows, I am from Ohio. Nick is from Ohio. Sean, obviously, Texas. A lot of the other writers in Texas. Powerbomb is a movie that's made here in Ohio using local Ohio wrestlers. It's a thriller about an obsessed fan. And it's all takes place in the indie wrestling scene here in Ohio. The indie wrestling scene here has produced a lot of really awesome, famous wrestlers. So if you're interested in the indie wrestling scene, you're interested in thriller movies, that kind of stuff, check out my article, check out the crowdfunding for Powerbomb. It should still be running when this goes up, but if it's not, you should totally at least follow them on Twitter and Facebook and keep up to date with that project. So, yeah, besides that, yeah, Sean, where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at what is my GWS Rancor. There we go. I had to think for a second. I get on Twitter, but it just logs me in automatically. I don't remember what my username is. But yeah, at GWSRAINKORE. That's where you can find me. And then you can find NerdLifeTX on literally everything. Just at NerdLifeTX, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, spaceships, whatever.
Awesome. Underwear vending machines in Japan.
We're in lots of those.
Nick, where can people find you?
I am ZeroPing. That's Z3R0PNG. And you can follow me at Facebook, Twitter, and on Nerd Life. Also, you can catch me hosting my new podcast, Gamer Stories, which is available on both iTunes and Google Play. Yeah,
very awesome. It's kind of an interesting take on what it means to be a gamer. So it's a lot of fun. Definitely check it out. You just put your first episode up, a week ago? 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago. Yep.
Yeah, so definitely make sure you check that out if you got some time. Why not when you're done with this episode? You just subscribe to anything we do.
All of them. Yeah, there should be one button where you're automatically signed up for everything.
Right, yeah. And then throw your wallet at your computer. And I think some of that money will come to the hosting or something and help us pay for all this.
That's how TCP works, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's Patreon basically, right? You just throw your wallet at the computer screen when you like something.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think that's how Patreon works.
Yeah, just magic.
It's magic. Yeah. Okay. Again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Anywhere you see this, make sure you leave us a review. You can leave us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, any number of places. The best place to leave us the review will be iTunes, of course. Make sure you check out the website, nerdlifetx.com. Beyond that, we will see you next time, where hopefully I will be less tired and more entertaining. So until next time, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you later. Goodbye.
Bye.
I love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.